Cal Ripken Jr., aka the Iron Man, broke an unbreakable record and changed the shortstop position forever. He showed the baseball world that a shortstop could both field and hit at an elite level. Many remember Cal as an offensive shortstop, but he was also a defensive wizard at the position. A man of 1,000 stances, Ripken made the necessary adjustments that led him to a prosperous 21-year career. After 15 of these insane Prime videos, it's finally time I do one on a player from my favorite team, the Baltimore Orioles. I didn't grow up watching Cal, but I've met him, read his books, and attended several Ripken youth baseball camps. Many of you have requested a Cal Ripken video, so thank you all for the suggestions and make sure to leave a comment on who you want to see next. As always, if you enjoy, make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing. Hit the bell to enable all notifications so you don't miss any future Cam 23 videos. Calvin Edwin Ripken Jr. was born on August 24, 1960 in Havre de Grace, Maryland, to parents Violet and Calvin Sr. Cal Jr. grew up with 3 siblings, Ellie, Fred, and Billy. Cal Sr. played pro ball until a career-ending injury shifted his focus to coaching for the Baltimore Orioles organization. He embodied what is known as the Oriole Way, a set of principles including perfect practice makes perfect, hustle takes no skill, and if it's worth doing right. Cal Sr.'s work ethic rubbed off on his children. Cal Jr. grew up in Aberdeen, Maryland, and attended Aberdeen High School. He participated in both baseball and soccer at the varsity level. In baseball, Cal led the school to a Maryland State Championship his senior year. He hit .496 that season while posting a 7-2 record as a pitcher with a ridiculous 0.79 ERA. Cal drew a lot of interest as a shortstop and a pitcher. The Baltimore Orioles drafted him in the 2nd round of the 1978 MLB Draft, the very team he rooted for growing up. After being drafted, the Orioles gave him the choice of pitching or playing the infield. Cal decided against pitching because they only get to play once every 5 days, and he wanted to play every day. Early in his minor league career, Cal was moved from shortstop to third base. He showed consistent progress in both his offensive and defensive game. Cal's ability to make adjustments and implement his vast baseball knowledge would be a staple throughout his career. While playing for AAA Rochester, Cal participated in the longest game in the history of professional baseball. The game was suspended at 4 in the morning, and when it finally resumed 2 months later, their opponent, the Pawtucket Red Sox, went on to win 3-2. It took more than 8 hours and went 33 innings. Cal and 2 of his teammates set the record for most plate appearances in a single game, with 15. This same season, Cal Ripken Jr. received the call to the Major League squad. He made his MLB debut on August 10, 1981, as a pinch runner. 2 days later, during a doubleheader, Cal received time in the field in Game 1 and made his first start at third base during Game 2. He got his first Major League hit on August 16th, but didn't receive much playing time the rest of the season. The Orioles were in the hunt for a playoff spot but finished 1 game back of the first-place Brewers. In January of 1982, the Orioles traded their everyday third baseman Doug DeCinces to the Angels, opening up the spot for Ripken. On opening day, Cal was the starting third baseman and had an incredible game. He went 3 for 5, hitting a double and his first career home run. While he started off on a high note, a slump soon followed as he ended April with a .123 batting average. In a game against the Angels, Reggie Jackson reached third base where Cal was playing. As Cal recalls, he told me that the Orioles had traded away a quality third baseman to give me the job, and I should just go out and be myself and go out and do what Cal Ripken can do. I don't know why, but it just clicked. It jolted me. Following Reggie's advice, Cal put together a terrific month of May. It was also during this time that Cal established his lifelong friendship with teammate Eddie Murray. Eddie was a mentor to Cal and helped him to settle in at the big league level. On May 30th, 1982, Cal's consecutive game streak began, and less than a week later started a lesser-known streak that we'll soon discuss. In listening to Cal talk about his streak, it was never about a number, it was about showing up to work every day to help his team win. On July 1st, 1982, Hall of Fame manager Earl Weaver wrote Cal into the lineup as the starting shortstop for the first time of his career. He had not played the position in several years. There was no warning, just Earl confidently telling Cal to make the routine plays, and soon enough, he'd be comfortable. Earl believed that Cal had great hands, a strong accurate arm, and could hit for power, so why not try him at shortstop, a position that was not known for tall power hitters. His faith would be rewarded. Cal was excellent and helped the O's to catch fire. They ended up in a playoff race that came down to the final series of the season against the Milwaukee Brewers. They were tied atop the American League East Division after the Orioles took the first 3 in the series. The final game would decide who would advance to the American League Championship Series. This is before the playoff format was expanded. Earl planned to retire following the 1982 season, so the outcome of this game had great significance. A quiet Orioles offense and a rough night for the pitching staff led to a heartbreaking 10-2 loss. While the team had a disappointing end to their season, Cal received MVP votes and was named Rookie of the Year, beating out Hrbek and Wade Boggs for the honor. In 1983, Cal Ripken Jr. started the year off strong, earning his first career All-Star selection, but his second half is what set him apart. Following the All-Star break, Cal hit .352 with 14 home runs and a .937 OPS. For the year, he led the league in games played, plate appearances, at-bats, runs, hits, doubles, and WAR. He batted .318 with 27 homers, 102 RBIs, and was 44% better than league average according to OPS+, a stat that adjusts for ballpark and league, where 100 is considered league average. Cal's performance played a major role in the Orioles winning the American League East Division, and they faced off against the Chicago White Sox in the championship series. Cal hit .400, and the O's pitching rotation was dominant, allowing just 3 runs in 4 games. The Orioles advanced to the World Series and matched up with the Phillies. The pitching staff continued to dominate, and the O's entered Game 5, leading the series 3-1. Eddie Murray hit 2 home runs, and Scott McGregor pitched a masterpiece. On the final play of McGregor's complete game shutout, Cal caught a liner for the final out, securing the 3rd title in franchise history. Following the championship run, Cal's 1983 regular season performance was recognized with his first career Silver Slugger. He was named the American League MVP, becoming the 4th youngest to win the award at that time. Since then, Bryce Harper is the only player younger to win the award. Cal followed up his MVP campaign with one that is arguably even better. At shortstop, he logged a career-best 3.6 defensive WAR. Combine that with his offense, and he led all of MLB with a 10 WAR. For comparison, Lou Gehrig during his Triple Crown season in 1934 accumulated a 10.1 WAR. Go figure that the Iron Horse and the Iron Man would have more than one parallel throughout their careers. Now in 1984, the WAR stat didn't exist, but with the knowledge we have now, it's highway robbery that Cal placed 27th in MVP voting. He was still named an All-Star and won his 2nd Silver Slugger award. The next 2 seasons were much the same for Ripken. He was an All-Star and won the Silver Slugger in both 1985 and 1986. Cal continued to play every game and hadn't missed an inning since June of 1982. His impressive streaks continued into 1987. There's been plenty of father-son duos in MLB history, but in 1987, the Ripkens took it up a notch. After serving as the 3rd base coach in 1986, Cal Ripken Sr. was promoted to manager. Cal's brother Billy debuted mid-season at 2nd base. The Ripken brothers would man the middle infield together for 6 consecutive seasons starting in 1987. It was the first time in MLB history that a father managed 2 sons on the same big league team. On September 14th, Cal's consecutive inning streak ended after Sr. made the decision to give Jr. a break in the 8th inning. 8,264 consecutive innings from June of 1982 to September of 1987. That equates to over 918 consecutive 9-inning games in a row. The next closest player, George Pinkney, has over 3,000 fewer innings. He played from 1884 to 1893, so you are forgiven if you've never heard of him. In 1988, the Orioles got off to an 0-6 start and quickly dismissed Cal Ripken Sr. as manager, just 1 year after his promotion. Frank Robinson took over as manager, but the O's continued to struggle, going on a 21-game losing streak, the worst start in Major League history. Even with the disappointment following the end of his father's brief stint as manager, Cal remained focused on being there for his team every day. In 1988, he made his 6th consecutive All-Star team and walked 102 times compared to just 69 strikeouts. Cal continued to stand out as a premier offensive and defensive shortstop. For someone who wasn't as agile as Ozzie Smith, Cal had to get a defensive edge any way he could. He combined his knowledge of hitter tendencies, the pitch being thrown, and the count to place himself in the best possible position. Cal's success at 6'4" opened the door for other tall power-hitting shortstops. 1989 was nearly on par with his defensive wizardry from the 1984 season. His 3.5 defensive WAR led the league and was his first of 3 consecutive years to do so. Cal won his 5th Silver Slugger award, made his 7th All-Star appearance, and finished 3rd in MVP voting. In 1990, Cal's defense was amazing. he led MLB with a 3.4 defensive WAR. He went 95 consecutive games without committing an error and made just 3 the entire season, the fewest in the history of baseball for shortstops with 150 or more games played. Omar Vizquel matched the feat a decade later, but no one has been able to surpass it. Cal's .996 fielding percentage is second on the all-time single-season leaderboard for shortstops. Mike Bordick is ranked number 1, but he played nearly 400 innings less than Cal. In 1991, Cal Ripken Jr. took his game to the next level. He started the year on a rampage. In the first half, he hit .348 with 18 home runs, 54 RBIs, and an OPS north of 1,000. Cal's strong start to the season earned him an All-Star selection and an invitation to the Home Run Derby. He stole the show in Toronto by hitting 12 home runs in 22 swings en route to winning the contest, becoming the first shortstop to do so. At the All-Star game, Ripken had a stellar night, going 2 for 3 with a home run and 3 RBIs. The American League went on to win 4-2, and Cal was named the All-Star Game MVP. After a cold spell offensively in July, he batted well over .300 and hit 12 home runs over the final 2 months. In 1991, Cal Ripken Jr. had one of the greatest overall seasons by a shortstop. A .323 average, 210 hits, 46 doubles, 34 home runs, 114 RBIs, 53 walks to just 46 strikeouts, a .940 OPS, and was 62% better than league average according to OPS+. He led the league in games played and total bases with 368. Cal's ridiculous 11.5 WAR is tied with Honus Wagner for the highest single-season WAR for a primary shortstop in the history of baseball. It also stacks up as one of the greatest at any position. He's tied for 10th highest, behind just 5 ballplayers: Babe Ruth, Carl Yastrzemski, Rogers Hornsby, Lou Gehrig, and Barry Bonds. Cal led the league in both offensive and defensive WAR again. For the first time in his career, he was a Gold Glove winner and received his 6th Silver Slugger award. Cal was named the American League MVP and currently is one of 32 players in baseball history to win the award at least twice. Throughout Cal's career, he tinkered with his batting stance so much that he was referred to as the man of 1,000 stances. He did whatever felt comfortable, even if it meant playing the violin. 1991 was the end of an era in Baltimore. The O's moved from Memorial Stadium to Oriole Park at Camden Yards in 1992. While 1992 wasn't up to his standards offensively, Cal flashed the leather at shortstop, earning his 2nd and final Gold Glove award. He also received the Roberto Clemente Award, given to one player each year who best exemplifies character, community involvement, philanthropy, and positive contributions on and off the field. In 1993, Ripken was faced with 2 of the closest calls to ending his Ironman streak. The first came during a benches-clearing brawl against the Mariners on June 6th. Cal ended up on the bottom of a dog pile and twisted his right knee. He woke up the next day in a lot of pain, but somehow managed to play the entire game. Had he decided to sit out, the streak would have ended at 1,790 games, 340 short of Lou Gehrig's record. The second close call came when his son Ryan was born on July 26th. Cal was not going to miss the birth of his son, but it just so happened to fall on an off day for the Orioles. The All-Star Game festivities were held at Camden Yards this year. Cal was the starting shortstop and received a standing ovation as he took the field. It was Cal's 11th All-Star appearance, and 2 days later, he passed Ernie Banks for most home runs as a shortstop with number 278. Following the '93 season, Cal won his 7th Silver Slugger award. In the strike-shortened 1994 season, Ripken led the league in defensive WAR, won his 8th Silver Slugger, and placed 12th in MVP voting. 1995 was another year shortened by the players' strike, but Cal accomplished his most memorable milestone and cemented his place as baseball's Iron Man. On September 5th, 1995, he tied Lou Gehrig by playing in his 2,130th consecutive game dating back to May 30th, 1982. For perspective, that's more than 13 consecutive 162-game seasons. On the historic night, Cal went 3 for 5 with a home run, leading the O's to an 8-0 win over the Angels. The next day, on September 6, 1995, Cal broke the unbreakable record by playing in his 2,131st consecutive game, setting the all-time record. When the game against the Angels became official after the top of the 5th inning, the crowd erupted in cheers. The iconic B&O warehouse displayed the banners which flipped from 2130 to 2131. The players from both teams were out of the dugouts applauding for Ripken as he took a curtain call. Cal waved to the crowd and savored the moment. When he returned to the dugout, the cheers didn't stop. Rafael, Palmeiro, and Bobby Bonilla forcibly escorted him out of the dugout for another curtain call. Cal spontaneously decided to take a victory lap around Camden Yards, high-fiving and shaking hands all the way around the park. Even after breaking a record that many thought would stand the test of time, he continued to stay focused on helping his team win. On the night he broke the streak, he went 2 for 4 with the home run, and the O's were able to beat the Angels 4-2. Cal is often credited with helping to save the game of baseball after the strike due to the animosity fans had toward the players and owners. Fans appreciated Cal's work ethic and his willingness to interact with them through signing autographs hours after the game ended. The streak helped to restore their faith in the game of baseball. On May 28, 1996, Cal and his brother Billy had a game to remember. Cal hit 3 dingers and drove in a career-high 8 runs. Billy joined in on the fun by hitting a home run of his own. Less than a month later, on June 14th, Cal broke Japanese player Sachio Kinugasa's world record of 2,215 consecutive games played. Kinugasa was also nicknamed the Iron Man, and his streak ended when he retired in 1987. On June 17th, the Orioles and Rangers game was suspended due to rain with the score tied in the 6th inning. Rather than resuming where they paused the game, the decision was made to start from scratch, but stats would still count for both games. This is why Cal was credited with playing 163 games in 1996. Less than a year after breaking Lou Gehrig's record, Cal's streak was in jeopardy after a freak accident during the All-Star Game festivities. While taking the team photo, White Sox All-Star Roberto Hernandez slipped and broke Ripken's nose. Not only did Cal play in that game, he was back 2 days later when they returned from the All-Star break. Let's be real, Cal was not going to miss the All-Star game over a broken nose. 1996 would be the first year the Orioles made the playoffs since their World Series run 13 years earlier. They were the lone wildcard team and upset the Cleveland Indians after winning 3 out of 4 games. Cal played a major role, batting .444 with 3 doubles and 2 runs driven in. They advanced to the ALCS where they played the Yankees, losing to them in 5 games. In 1997, the Orioles acquired shortstop Mike Bordick, and Cal was moved to third base. This season, Cal played 6 weeks dealing with a herniated disc in his back that caused him to be in a lot of pain. The Orioles won the AL East and matched up with the Mariners in the division series. Cal batted .438 and the O's won in 4 games. In the championship series against the Indians, Cal had another great performance. He batted .348 with a home run and 3 RBIs, but the Orioles fell to Cleveland in 6 games. In 1998, Cal's legendary streak came to an end on his own terms. He made sure that it would take place at home in Baltimore. In a last-minute lineup change, Ryan Miner replaced Ripken at third base. It was the only time he sat out, finishing the year with 161 games played. The final total was 2,632 consecutive games, the equivalent of 16 1/4 162-game seasons. The 28 postseason games he played do not count toward the record. Through crunching some numbers on Baseball Reference, I determined he played 98.74% of the total defensive innings possible during the consecutive game streak. 1999 was a trying year for the Ripken family, as Cal Sr. passed away from lung cancer on March 25th. Cal persevered through nagging injuries and grieving the loss of his father. In the limited time he was on the field in 1999, Ripken made it count. On June 13th, 1999, Cal had possibly the greatest offensive game of his career. He went 6 for 6 with 2 home runs and 6 RBIs against the Atlanta Braves. Despite accomplishing this in Atlanta, the home crowd gave him a standing ovation. On September 2nd, 1999, Cal hit the 400th home run of his career. At the time, he was the 29th player to accomplish the feat. Cal made his 17th All-Star appearance and had a resurgent offensive season, batting .340 with 18 home runs and 57 RBIs in just 86 games played. He was also selected as the starting shortstop for the MLB All-Century team. In his age 38 season, he looked like vintage Cal. On April 15th, 2000, Cal collected hit number 3,000 on a single. Greeting him at first base was none other than Eddie Murray, who served as first base coach in 2000 and 2001. In June 2001, Cal Ripken announced that he planned to retire at the end of the season. Cal was celebrated in every city the team traveled to. Fans wanted the chance to say goodbye to a baseball legend. He was a role model for the game and frequently interacted with fans. Cal estimated that he signed around 15,000 autographs a year during his career. In 2001, Cal made his 19th consecutive All-Star appearance. He and Tony Gwynn were honored before the game. Alex Rodriguez was named the starting shortstop and Cal the starting third baseman. When they took the field, A-Rod wanted Ripken to play short to honor him in his final All-Star game. It took some coaxing from both A-Rod and manager Joe Torre, but Ripken finally gave in. In Cal's first at-bat, he hit a home run against Dodgers pitcher Chan-Ho Park, becoming the oldest player to homer in an All-Star game. The AL went on to win 4-1, and Cal received All-Star Game MVP honors. He was the first American League player to earn this distinction twice in their career. Cal Ripken's final game came at home. Fans honored him every time he came to the plate with a standing ovation. What an incredible moment they were able to share together. In 2001, Cal and his brother Billy formed the Cal Ripken Sr. Foundation, which supports underprivileged children and gives them a chance to learn baseball through clinics and camps. If you want to learn more about the foundation, the link will be in the description of this video. In 2002, Cal became an owner of the Aberdeen Ironbirds, a minor league affiliate of the Baltimore Orioles. Cal Ripken Jr. finished his career with 431 home runs, 345 of those coming at the shortstop position, the most all-time, one ahead of Alex Rodriguez. In total, Cal amassed a 95.9 WAR, 3,184 hits, a .276 batting average, 431 home runs, and 1,695 RBIs. He is second in WAR for shortstops who spent 50% of their career at the position, and is tied for 35th on the all-time leaderboard. A 19-time All-Star, Rookie of the Year, 2-time MVP, a Home Run Derby champ, 8 Silver Sluggers, 2 Gold Gloves, and a 2-time All-Star Game MVP. He also played in 8,264 consecutive innings, and most famous of all, the Iron Man streak, playing 2,632 consecutive games. Streak or no streak, Cal was a Hall of Famer. The numbers speak for themselves and solidified his status as one of the all-time greats throughout his lengthy 21-year career, all with the Orioles. In 2007, Cal Ripken Jr. was elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame alongside another all-time great, Tony Gwynn. Since retirement, Cal has authored many baseball-related books, including Coaching Youth Baseball the Ripken Way and a fictional series for children. Cal has always been a household hero in my family. To research and put this video together has been a journey, and I have an even greater appreciation for his vast list of accomplishments. I believe his Iron Man streak will stand the test of time. Cal Ripken Jr. is the true embodiment of a hometown hero. He was a role model to many, and did so with humility and respect for the game. Let me know in the comments down below your thoughts on the video. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.